大家好. Today I will be making a Szechuan chili oil. You can use it for many different Asian cookings. It's really spicy. I think I like it better than the Thai sweet chili sauce most of the people like to get here in Germany, because it's not really spicy and kind of sweet, artificial taste. And we are making a chili sauce at home, and it's really easy. You can make it super easy with less ingredients. Use dried chili, or easier, just use chili powder, and then you can mix chili powder with oil to make a simplified chili oil. And today we're making a more authentic version, but you can also add other different spices to make it has a more sophisticated taste. But here is a simplified recipe. We will use Szechuan chili pepper, and you can get it in the Chinese supermarket. It's a two different kind of spicy taste. These will make your lips really burning. And here is a dried chili. They're dried when you get them, and usually you can put it in the Chinese cooking for 1 or 2 and really burning your mouth. So we'll use these two to make our own chili oil. And here we will also need few garlics and the ginger, just to give the oil a bit more taste. So let's start with the peanuts. You can also use sesame, but sesame is really small, really fine. Sometimes in the hot oil it will burn and give it a bitter taste. So I choose peanuts, and those are salted. Unsalted is better, but I only have these at home, so I have to just use them. We were going to bake them first and crush them to smaller sizes. Okay, let's do it. We turn on our stove. Okay. You can see we turn it to medium high heat first, and try not to use any oil, because we will add a lot more oil later. Just bake it here, and then we can peel our garlic. You can make a lot of this oil and leave it aside, put it in the fridge, and last for months. And every now and then, when you feel like a bit spiciness in your food, you can just add a little teaspoon of it, and it really gives a lot of flavor. And it's super easy to make. There's also like pre-made one in Chinese supermarket, but it gives you a bit aftertaste, and homemade one tastes a bit better. Okay, just check our peanuts is not burned. You also can deep fry peanuts, but we do a healthier version just to bake it without oil. Okay, we have our last garlic. Usually you can also just use vegetable oil, but here I choose half vegetable oil, half pork fat, and I have defrost 1 slice of pork belly. But you also can get it in the supermarket, just pure fat, and then you bake lots of pork fat. You can also use this later and put it in your noodle or some other Chinese cookings. Okay, so we going to cut all this pork belly to small pieces, so easier to bake the pork fat out later. And you can use this later too for some other dishes. And we are just going to use the fat here. Like I said, you can buy pure fat in supermarket, and you can get more oil out of it. Okay. Here, our peanuts is baked. You can see. Some are burned, but it's okay. We set this aside for later. And we just use the same pan. And we set it on, let's set it on medium-high heat. And I'm putting our pork belly already, and add, let's say, 1 cup of vegetable oil. We'll use this oil later to cook the chili, so we give it a bit more oil than usual. Pork fat always tastes a bit better than vegetable oil. Some people say it's not very healthy to eat animal fat, but a combination is a better option. You can have half animal fat and half vegetable oil, vegetable fat. And you turn it to lower heat. And be careful, don't have any water around, just the splash. It's burning. We cook these fat until they shrink to about, I would say, 1/4 of the size of my nose. I really turn to low heat at the moment. And just slowly fry this pork fat out. Now after about 10 to 15 minutes, you can see this pork belly is really shrinked, and look at the color, really dark and brown. You can see the oil also rised about probably half. We want half vegetable oil and half pork fat for this oil. And while they're still cooking, we set it to really low heat for this 15 minutes, and then we can get our garlic and ginger ready. I've cleaned my chopping bowl and my knife, and we just crush it. You can use your knife, crush the garlic to release the flavor. And we drop in these garlics in our oil. And then we use about the size of my thumb, the size of ginger. And then we cut them to thin slices. We don't have to remove the skin. This is just for the flavor. Okay, and we drop those ginger also in the oil. And we bake this with the rest of the pork. And this is just for the flavor. We're not going to eat them, not leaving them in the oil later. Okay. Cutting the ginger to thin slices, just helping it to release the flavor in the oil. But be careful not to burn them. Okay. Here we just have to be patient. Really have a close look of the stuff on the stove. Don't overcook them and burn them. Here, those leftover pork bellies you can use in the noodle later, or actually when I was little, my mom always cook lots of pork fat and then mix with a bit salt and just eat them. It's like a snack. And I know it's unhealthy, but it tastes good. And so you can also eat them like a bacon later. But if you don't like them, you can just throw them away. Okay, I think we can turn the heat a bit higher. Just cook it a bit faster. And we need a bowl without any water fluid in it, because we're going to put our hot oil in it. And you will need a strainer to strain out the pork belly and the ginger and garlic. And we leave this oil aside later for cooking, and reheat it and then put in our chili powder. Okay. I think it's almost ready. You can see the garlics are golden brown. Ginger also shrinked a bit. And all the pork bellies get really crispy, almost like chips. Okay, we turn off the heat. Here, just have to be careful because it's super hot. And try not to burn yourself. Okay. Let's do this. Do this slowly. Now we have the oil. You can see the color. When the oil gets cold, it turns to a solid grease. White color turns to white color. You can use it in noodle. Just take 1 teaspoon for your noodle. So it's super hot. We set this aside. And now we need to measure our chili. So we have these dry chili pepper. So you can decide on how much you want, but pretty much half. So we get the ratio is 1 to 2. So 1 ratio of Szechuan chili pepper with 2 these kind of dry red peppers. And so we will need is to break those. They're really dry, so easy to break, and we don't want the seeds, because these seeds, they're not really spicy and they get burned quickly, easily, and give you a bitter taste. Try to get rid of them, but if you can get them really clean, it's also okay. So let's say we take maybe let's say 50 grams. Let's see how much it will be. You can also use scissors. I'm just lazy. Use my hand. And, you can see how much red chili we're putting in this chili oil. It gives you lots of heat, I just cleaned up the chili, almost cleaned. And then it's about 20 grams. I thought 50 grams, but 20 grams looks a lot already. And all we need to do is we heat up the pan again to low heat. And keep the grease in the pan, don't have to wash it. Just a lazy way to do it. And then we're going to bake those chili. And you can see those chili are really thin. The skin is super thin. So keep it low heat and keep an eye on it. It's just really easy to burn and I get really dark. And we can't use them later anymore. So just try to get those grease in the pan to cover the chili and stir it while it's cooking. Okay. Can feel, use your hand to feel the heat. If it's too high, then you have to turn it down a bit. And you can see those chilies are covered with a thin layer of oil. It's just to get rid of those wet taste. It's hard to describe it. When you eat those chilies very often, then you know what I'm talking about. And it tastes better after it's baked in the oil. Very necessary, you know. Can already smell it. Really spicy. Things about ready. Okay, then we take, let's say, here. We have this our magical tool later to break those chili pepper to powder shape. Okay. And now we move those chilies into our tool. Okay. Now we will need to just turn off the heat first. We will need the other most important ingredient, our Szechuan chili pepper. And because we had 20 grams of this chili, dried chili, so we will need 10 grams. Okay, set it to 0 and take 10. Okay, and we'll also need to bake this. And normally we won't need oil, but I'm just too lazy to clean up the pan anymore. And you can put these pepper in it. Here you also have to feel the heat, not too high. You want to bake them, not to burn them, because they're super tiny, so very easily get burned. Okay. You just want to release the fragrance from the Szechuan chili powder, Szechuan chili pepper. Okay. I think 2 minutes is enough to keep stirring, turning. Try not to burn it. Smell is really strong. Haven't really seen these peppers out of China. Maybe in India they have some. It's just super strong, these peppers, and addictive if you like spicy food. Okay, now I'll turn off the heat. Move them. With our chili. Okay. Now we need to be really patient to grind these to almost like a powder shape. If you have a blender, you can use blender, but sometimes it gets really too fine. Or if you have a roller, you can put these on the chopping board and roll them to small pieces. But this time we just do it this way. It takes a while, but the result is really rewarding. And like I said, you can use these for months, and it tastes definitely better than the pre-made one. After about 20 minutes, or 15 to 20 minutes, now this is how it looks like. Powderish. You keep squeezing and turning all the flavors out. These goodies will be our chili oil later. Okay, now we have to turn our stove back up, and say medium. And put our oil back in to heat it up. We're going to heat it to about 60%. Means it's hot, but it's not going to burn. Okay. We can reuse this bowl and put our powder in. See? And you can really smell it right now, the Szechuan chili powder, really strong. And we will also need about 1 tablespoon of the chili powder. It just helps to give the oil a bit of red color. It looks better. Okay. Get our chopsticks ready, so we can stir it once the oil's in. And can test it. See if it's hot. You can test it by dropping peanuts or veggie you like. It should start boiling, so right now it's not hot enough yet. I turn it to high heat, just speed up a bit. Okay. I think it's okay. Start. Okay. Just turn it off. We put gradually, not too much. So step by step. Okay. And we stir it to help it cooking. Really see the oil is cooking our chili. Okay. See, that's how it looks like. It's red and smells perfect. And now our last step is we'll need to add a bit peanuts. So I think this is probably two tablespoons, and we try to grind it a bit, but not to powder, just roughly. Okay, now it's about ready. Okay, now we add them into our chili oil. Mix. We will add a bit of this sesame oil. Give it a bit more flavor. I'll say like 2 teaspoons. So, and you can look for a container to seal the oil and use it later. Just put everything in. Like I said, these oil lasts for months and you can make a lot at a time. Okay. It's really hot at the moment, so okay. Last bit chili oil. Voila! Isn't that perfect? You can see the small pieces of peanuts in it, and with all the goodies in it. If you have a really thin glass container, try to cool the oil first before you fill it up, because it will break. Thanks for watching. If you like my recipe, please go to my blog here to check out the complete recipe. And I will use this oil for some other Chinese dishes. Thanks for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.